January 6, 1928.
December 7th, 1941, a date which will live in infamy.
I remember it well. My grandfather had a brother, and he was married to this woman. We were on Shady Side up in the Lakewood area. And we spent the day, it was on a Sunday, and we didn't know about it till we didn't even know we were in the war. We come back downtown, and back in those days, and they were selling, there were two papers in Jamestown at the time, and they were selling, we'd gone to war with Japan, Pearl Harbor. Because I went in the service, because most of the kids I grew up with were older than me in my senior year. So I graduated in 1947. I went back to high school.
Gotcha.
I had to take, if I remember, I need world history and English. I was 16 when I signed the papers to join the Navy. And I went in, I had to wait till I was 17. But I went to Sampson about a week after my 17th birthday. Sampson was up by Geneva. That was a boot camp. And this is an interesting sidelight, because when I grew up, I never heard of, they're anti-Jewish. And when I went to Sampson, there was an older, because the boot camp was really for, 7 kids in their late teens. But there was a guy who was drafted, and he was in his 30s, and he reminded me sort of my father. But he was Jewish, and I sort of befriended him. And I remember these kids that were my age, I heard all of the remarks, kike lover and all of this stuff, and I never heard of it before, because I grew up with a kid named, I don't know if he's still alive. He was a foot doctor, Izzy Davis, and he lived on Johnson Street, because we lived on Sweet Hill. In those days, when nobody had cars. We did, but my dad did. But I didn't know any, like he was a Methodist or Presbyterian or what have you. But I befriended this guy in boot camp, and I can remember kids my age where they were probably, most of them were from New York City in that area, and they didn't like the Jewish people.
So there's a little anti-Semitism then.
Yeah, lots of it. And I got on a ship, but we were on APD, which was like a DE, only with attack. But the ship, all we did, they claimed they sunk some submarines, but we said we were enlisted, so we killed a lot of whales.
Yeah. Cool. Do you remember the name of the ship?
Yeah, Kerwin, APD 90. I was a fire controlman. Matter of fact, my battle station, they just come out with sonar, and it was a little room very close to the bridge, and we had 5-inch guns on the ship, and we just discovered radar at the time, and it was a radar screen, and for the 5-inch, because you had to set for the 5-inch, you set the shell to explode, so that I would this screen, I would tell how far away we were from the planes, and we didn't see planes. They were American planes, but for training. But on the fantail, we had depth charges, because at the time there were a lot of German submarines around the coast. This was down in Florida. We went skinny dipping once, and the shore patrol, they had our clothes. So they let us know if we didn't come in, they were going to take our clothes. But I remember it well, because they took us in where we slept. It was a sand floor. Because I thought it was sort of stupid, but it was on a Sunday morning. They let us go, but they took us in front of a church in Jacksonville. You know, and we're all dirty because you wore your white and you slept on the floor, on the sand floor. And I thought it was sort of stupid because first all civilians really didn't care for the military too much. It was like today. And they let us off in front of this church. And
so that was your payback. That was your penalty.
Yeah. It's a disease that they cured with penicillin. It doesn't exist today. But in the 40s, it was a mastoid was behind your ear. And I was in a naval hospital. It was real weird because it was a naval hospital, but it was an Army prisoner of war camp. And I couldn't figure out what the devil we had the Germans in the United States for. And we had the prime, what they did, they had them over here to run Germany after the war. They were training them. Our mess hall, where we ate, they were all German prisoners, you know, and you got the hell out of their way because they come marching to the hospital every day.
The Japanese have accepted our terms fully. That's the word we've just received from the White House in Washington. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the end of the Second World War.
If you were in the service, you were real happy. Because there was a lot of publicity about how many we were going to invade Japan and what it was going to be, or what a tragedy it would be. But so we were happy they dropped the A-bomb. So I got called back in for the Korean War.
Ah. Were you active service then? I mean.
Oh yeah. Then I went to the West Coast and I was on a carrier, and the carrier, well, during the war, we had 40-millimeter guns for anti-aircraft, but the Essex was the first ship that they reconverted. They took the 40s off and made 3-inch guns. And we went over, and we go out for 30 days, then go into Japan for 10 days. And because the thing...
What ship were you on?
USS Essex.
Yes.
On the ship, it's very much like civilian life. If I remember, there were 7 departments, and we kept an inventory on the ship because I had 2 strikers that worked for me, and the only thing I did is because I never learned how to type. And if you remember typewriters, when you made a mistake, it was. But on every Friday, because there were 7 divisions on the ship, and they had a budget just like we have today. And we'd tell them what their budget was and what they spent and what was left.
Time period when the carrier launched a F2H Banshee.
Because I was on the island, it was on a Sunday. This chief that I work for and I were on the island, we were watching, and they got this, in those days, well, I still use tail hooks, but in those days, the only way I could describe it was like a volleyball net. If they shot off the tail hook the plane would hit. It was supposed to hit but the Banshee jumped over that, and they were rearming and in the forward end of the flight deck, and the Banshee had come in, hit them, and several guys got killed.
You weren't on the ship then?
I was on the ship, but I was on the island, and I seen it.
One of these planes, damaged in combat, crashed into the aircraft, parked on the forward flight deck.
Right. They were refueling and rearming. In those days, you didn't drop bombs. Most of the things the planes carried was napalm. Mm-hmm. You know, they'd use that. Well, most of the planes had. Well, the thing they put the napalm in was what they put the gas in earlier. Mm-hmm. And you had some good times because it wasn't built up like now. Everyone goes to those other islands. But in those days, everything was Waikiki and Diamond Head. Because I remember, the thing I remember the most about, because we used to wear civilian clothes because they didn't have you over there. And I tried to make her name, a singer at the time, her name was April Stevens. And this was there were two hotels, the Royal Hawaiian, then there was another hotel right next door on Waikiki. And they were playing there. And it was, they would perform, then they come to the bar after. But the band leader happened to be her brother. And they were actually from Niagara Falls.
Oh, no kidding.
And he come and rescued her. But I remember her well. The big thing I remember about the war was kids I knew that were older than me that got killed. And I can remember Donnie Nelson and Mickey Sorensen, because I lived on Sweet Hill. Because, I was no hero.
Oh, you're a hero. You're part of a major machinery.
No.
It's been fantastic. Thank you.
Well, I appreciate it.